So listen to the noise for a second. That's a high gain amp setting.
That's quite remarkable.
There's nothing.
Yeah, never heard it like that.
Nobody's ever gotten it that quiet before.
No.
So we have fluorescent lighting in here. This is an office complex, so the electricity is probably pretty dirty. It's not a home or a studio. Nothing at all. First time. No batteries, no active electronics, no filters, no anything. It's simply the technology of an output transformer from a guitar amplifier. And if you think of how quiet a good amp can be, it's the same exact thing. So we just were looking around for what's a better way to approach a pickup that can have that much gain and that much sound without bringing the noise level up with it. And that's what we came up with.
What do you gain with the guitar you're holding?
Funny you should ask me that.
Yeah.
What you gain, first of all, the country of origin is different between these two guitars. This guitar is made in Indonesia in our factory, and this guitar is made in Korea. So the difference there is that these guitars, the ash that's on the top of these guitars is American ash, swamp ash, and the back and neck of these guitars is genuine mahogany. That's very expensive and very hard to get. And that guitar, made in Indonesia, uses local woods. So the fingerboard, the top wood, and the back mahogany, as beautiful as they are sourced locally. So it's a savings for us to make them in different places, and with a company as big as Korg, who of course owns us, we're able to bring them in at different prices. What we don't want to change is the quality. And if you play both of these guitars, I think you'll notice that they're both very well made, but we're able to source more expensive woods when we make the higher line.
And in terms of sound, if you...
Yes, you'll get more, because the pickups are identical. But because of cost, and these are military grade switches, by the way, they're designed so that you can do them like this. They're never going to break. You know when you hit your Strat and the little tip flies off into the audience? Yeah, we've all done that, yeah? Or you hit a Les Paul too hard and that little plastic thing snaps the metal off, and these won't ever do that. They're made, you don't ever want to look. When you're playing and you're about to hit a lead, you don't want to go. Right? It's done.
So it would have been a great video, though, if it would happen right now.
Oh, I'd be screwed. Yeah. But that's, and it will, right?
I have to sell them.
Yeah, but that's the idea, is that when you're playing, you never look. You just hit them, and you can do whatever you want. That's why they're spaced like this. But you get 3 sounds on each pickup here, as opposed to the 33, where you have a master switch that does both pickups at once, that goes from the lead sound to the clean sound. So in other words, here, I can have the lead sound on the bridge pickup, and when I go to the neck pickup, it's preset for single coil or clean. So when I flip it in, it's a dramatic change. On this guitar, when you switch it, you get 2 choices, and it does both pickups at once.
But in terms of sound of the wood, I mean, you listen to all of your guitars.
Yeah, yeah.
You really hear it if it's the different wood than the American swamp ash or the...
That's an interesting question.
blind test.
Honestly.
No, you never know. The quality of the Indonesian wood is quite good. It's a different species. I couldn't tell you if you cranked it through an amp that I could hear it, but it's a more valuable wood to people. Like American Strats and American Tellies were always made out of American swamp ash. It's a known tone wood. I don't think it's any different. I think they are very similar in tone and quality. It's just we're able to source it much less expensively, therefore we pass it on to the consumer.
I hear a lot of people saying, like, more and more these days, that the sound comes from the neck. You see that on guitar forums passing by, that people say it's from the sound comes from the neck. How do you, what do you think about that?
I think generally it's true, and people have overlooked that for a long time, especially on bolt-on neck guitars, certainly on set neck guitars, but if you look at the standard bolt-on, like a great telly with a really big neck sounds very different than the same guitar with a skinny neck. And in fact, with a bolt-on guitar, you can swap them out and listen to it. It's also the stiffness of the grain. I find that if you have a very stiff neck, you get much more transfer of like quick picking attack, and the notes speak more quickly. If you get a really soft neck, a lot of times it's a warmer, rounder sound, but it's not good for a guy that's got really fast chops, because it'll get blurred in the interpretation of the note. I think that you have to try, again, when you're in the store or whatever guitar you're trying, think to yourself, what am I going to play on this guitar? What style of music do I really like? Who do I like? What do they do? and then try the guitar and see if it works for you. And keep in mind, depending on the material and the construction of the guitar, it may or may not be for you. Could be the best guitar.
For what kind of beginner guitar player would that guitar be suitable? Your starter guitar?
Well, I think first of all, it's more suitable for a young guy starting out than most guitars that have tremolo bars, just because of the complexity of the mechanics of the instrument. This guitar will stay in tune. Any guitar with a stop bar kind of bridge will stay in tune far more easily for the young guy than the Strat type tremolo bridge with the springs. That's really hard to learn how to set it up. I think it's frustrating when you're young to do that. This is rock solid, the kind of guitar where it's easy to string and easy to get going. I think you're less worried about the mechanics of the guitar, then you can concentrate on getting technique and learning how to play better. So I think essentially this can apply to any starter guitar player.
Any type.
Yeah.
Jazz, rock, whatever.
Yeah, I mean, as you can tell by the versatility of the pickup system, it can go from a really mellow, round, fat sound to a driving tone really easily. So it's not the kind of guitar that you say, oh, I don't want to use that because in my kind of music it won't fit. I think it's definitely the kind of guitar anybody could start with. And since the quality is good, you won't in a year feel like you made a really bad choice. I think you can keep that guitar for several years and not feel bad.
Yeah, you said it was really nice in your hand.
Yeah, it fits. What you said, it really fits
Comfort.
nice. Comfort, nice around your body.
Yeah, and that's something that when you're just starting out you may not appreciate, but you'll know that your guitar feels comfortable to play. So you're more likely to want to play longer, and you're likely not to feel like, oh, this isn't cool. I'm not comfortable with it. So that's something you should check out whenever you pick up a guitar.
That one also had a really low action.
Yeah.
Well, all our guitars do.
Yeah.
I mean, we have guys on our factory assembly line, their only job is to complain endlessly to the manager of the factory about quality. So that's a way to do it. You have to have a guy there all the time who's a great player but also knows guitar that just keeps saying, okay, that's good, that's not good, and send it back till it's right. And we do that with every guitar. It's the way you have to do it if you're going to be a quality guitar manufacturer. So just to flip this over for a minute, we're going to go to this guitar. I'm going to show you a little bit of the versatility of these pickups before we get out of this series, and I think then we'll have some good idea about the solid body range here, the 33 and the 55, and we'll take it from there. So I'll take that one from you.
Okay.
Thanks very much.
You guys are playing on a night train, I think?
That's a Night Train 2 watt.
Real night train.
Yeah.
For 12-inch cabinet.
Yes. 3-back 12-inch.
It's volume is all up, man.
Yeah.
It's quite
Very quiet.
very quiet.
Thank you. That's cool. So that's, you know, some of the stuff that you just heard there, you can hear it goes through all kinds of clean and dirty and fat and thin and bright and the whole thing noiselessly, really competently. It's really simple to operate, and it gives you opportunities on one guitar that normally you have to take your bolt-on guitar with you, you've got to take your Gibson style guitar with you to the gig and change all the settings on your amp to get 2 good sounds, 3 good sounds, and now one guitar does that. And the bottom of our line has the exact same quality of pickups and materials and hardware, which is, you know, if you buy a really low end of somebody else's guitar, no. You have to step up a bunch to get something that sounds this good and stays together this well. So we think that's a major difference between what we're trying to do and what every other manufacturer does. We're trying to provide the quality at a really good price so you don't feel like you should buy something else tomorrow. And you can live with it for several years and feel like confident that you got the right guitar. So that's the solid body line, guys.
What's the price range of this one?
We'd have to ask somebody in the background that you can't see.
$699 for the 33, $999 for the 55. And Ronald got, and there's a 22 coming in August for $450, and they all come with a gig bag.